All right, bookworms, short on time, but still crave a good story. Saddle up for a quick trip to the Wild West with our summary of David Grann's Killers of the Flower Moon. This chapter by chapter breakdown will lasso you the key plot points, characters, and themes in record time. No need to spend weeks on the range, we'll give you the whole story in a quick and engaging summary. So, if you want the Wild West thrills of Killers of the Flower Moon without the time commitment, hit that subscribe button and let's ride. Chapter 7. This Thing of Darkness. The bone-chilling cold of February 1923 grips the plains as icy winds howl and the prairie turns to stone. Amidst this unforgiving backdrop, two hunters stumble upon a sinister scene, a car at the bottom of a rocky swale, with curtains veiling its windows. As the authorities investigate, they discover a man slumped in the car, blood staining the seat. The victim is Henry Roan, a respected Osage Indian, known for his warrior-like stature and tragic circumstances. Henry's murder reignites a simmering fear amongst the Osage community, already reeling from a string of suspicious deaths. His close friend Hale, who had often helped him financially, is shocked by the news of his brutal demise. It is revealed that Henry had been distressed over his wife's affair with another man, leading to a downward spiral in his final days. As the community grapples with Henry's death, Molly, with her own complex connections to the victims, navigates a web of secrets. The Osage land is gripped by a sense of impending doom, with electric lights adorning homes as a protective measure against unseen threats. The atmosphere is thick with suspicion, with even neighbors fearing each other in the shadow of the relentless violence. In a macabre turn of events, Bill Smith, a key figure in the investigation, falls victim to a devastating bombing. His house reduced to rubble, Bill and his wife Rita meet a tragic end, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions. The community is plunged deeper into fear and uncertainty as the killers continue to strike with impunity. Efforts to solve the mystery are thwarted by corruption and betrayal, with even those meant to uphold justice succumbing to darkness. As the death toll rises and the reign of terror escalates, the Osage tribe appeals to the federal government for help, desperate for a resolution to the bloodshed plaguing their land. In the midst of chaos and tragedy, Hale vows to avenge Molly's family, taking matters into his own hands with a showdown that uncovers startling connections to the perpetrators. Molly, haunted by the relentless violence and her own impending danger, retreats into isolation, battling her own demons as she grapples with the horrors unfolding around her. As the specter of death looms large over the Osage community, a glimmer of hope emerges with the arrival of federal investigators. But with treachery and deception lurking at every turn, the road to justice is paved with uncertainty and danger. Amidst the darkness that engulfs the Osage land, whispers of conspiracy and fear swirl as the quest for truth becomes a harrowing journey into the heart of human depravity. Chapter 8. Department of Easy Virtue. In the summer of 1925, Tom White, the imposing 6'4" special agent in charge of the Bureau of Investigation's field office in Houston, receives a sudden and urgent call from the new head honcho of the Bureau, J. Edgar Hoover. Dressed in defiance to Hoover's meticulous dress code, complete with his customary big cowboy hat, White boards a train headed to Washington, leaving behind his wife and two young boys. White, a former Texas Ranger, and an old-style lawman with a mythic aura, had joined the Bureau to serve his country and uphold justice in a changing world. The Bureau, created by President Theodore Roosevelt in 1908, had been tasked with patching up the holes in federal law enforcement and filling the gaps left by the disappearing tribe of old frontier lawmen. Hoover, the ambitious director determined to transform the Bureau, tasks White with investigating the murders of the Osage Native Americans in Oklahoma, a case that had become one of the Bureau's first major homicide investigations. Hoover, conscious of his precarious hold on power and concerned with avoiding a scandal after the Teapot Dome debacle, sees White as the key to salvaging the Bureau's reputation and his own career. White, understanding the gravity of the assignment, agrees to take on the mission despite the dangers it entails. Aware that previous agents had met a grim fate in pursuit of the Osage murderers, White braces himself for the perilous journey ahead, knowing that failure is not an option in Hoover's eyes. As he leaves Hoover's office, the weight of the task ahead settles on his shoulders, marking him as a target in a deadly game of justice and corruption. Chapter 9. The Undercover Cowboys. As the year is 1925, Tom White has taken over the Oklahoma City field office and delves into the extensive files on the Osage murders, seeking answers that have eluded investigators for years. The mysterious murders of wealthy Osage Indians have left a trail of violence, with bodies scattered across the state. White is determined to bring justice to these victims and their families. The files are a chaotic jumble of information, lacking a coherent narrative, like pieces of a puzzle waiting to be assembled. White is astounded by the sheer brutality described within the reports. From bombings to fatal shootings, the savagery of the crimes is unimaginable. The targeted victims are all wealthy Osage Indians, with some related by blood, hinting at a deeper, more sinister motive behind the killings. One glaring omission in the investigations is the failure to interview Molly Burkhart, a key figure with valuable insights into the victims' lives and motivations. White recognizes the need to understand her perspective to unravel the intricate web of deceit and violence that has gripped the Osage community. As White sifts through the files, he notices a lack of consistency in the methods used for the murders, suggesting the involvement of multiple perpetrators. The absence of a signature in the killings and the scattered locations of the bodies point to a well-organized operation orchestrated by someone with a meticulous and cunning mind. The previous investigations have been riddled with corruption and incompetence, leading to a maze of false leads and dead ends. White is determined to separate fact from fiction, seeking irrefutable evidence to build a solid case against the perpetrators. Realizing the enormity of the task at hand, White enlists a team of undercover agents, each with unique skills and experiences. From former lawmen to deep cover operatives, the team is handpicked for their ability to navigate the treacherous landscape of Osage County and gather crucial evidence without raising suspicions. With the weight of the investigation resting on his shoulders, White knows he must tread carefully in a community where fear and prejudice run deep. By becoming the public face of the investigation, he aims to shield his agents from harm as they work tirelessly to uncover the truth behind the Osage murders. Armed with determination and a sense of justice, White and his team set out on their undercover mission, ready to confront the darkness that has plagued the Osage Nation. The path ahead is treacherous, but with the Cowboys by his side, White is prepared to face whatever challenges lie ahead in pursuit of justice for the victims of the Flower Moon. Chapter 10. Eliminating the Impossible. In this chapter, the undercover operatives, posing as various characters, infiltrate Osage County to uncover the truth behind the murders that have plagued the Osage community. The former sheriff disguises himself as a cattleman, a talkative ex-Texas Ranger presents himself as a rancher, an insurance salesman sets up shop in town selling genuine policies, and Agent Grann assumes the identity of an Indian medicine man searching for relatives. Their mission is to gather information from the locals without blowing their cover. White, the lead investigator, emphasizes simplicity to avoid arousing suspicion. The operatives strategically befriend key figures and attend tribal gatherings to extract valuable insights. However, the investigation hits roadblocks as crucial records regarding the death of Anna Brown mysteriously disappear. Despite the lack of tangible evidence, one item stands out: Anna's skull, carefully kept by the undertaker. White examines the skull, noting the entrance wound and the absence of an exit wound. He deduces that a small caliber pistol was used, and suspects foul play at the crime scene leading to the disappearance of the bullet. As White delves deeper, He focuses on corroborating suspects' alibis to separate truths from lies. Like Sherlock Holmes, he believes that eliminating the impossible will reveal the truth. With the help of Agent Berger, who had previously worked on the case, many suspects are quickly cleared, including Anna's ex-husband and the oil workers implicated by the former sheriff. The spotlight then shifts to Rose Osage and her husband Joe Allen, suspected of Anna's murder due to rumors of jealousy. Despite initial suspicions, Rose and Joe's alibis hold up during questioning, leading White to believe in their innocence. The narrative takes an unexpected turn when an informant named Kelsey Morrison, a criminal with insider connections, is brought into the fold. Morrison, nicknamed Slim, strikes a deal with the authorities to work as an informant in exchange for leniency in his own case. With his unconventional appearance and cunning demeanor, Morrison becomes a valuable yet risky asset in the investigation. The agents employ bertelinage, a method of criminal identification, to ensure Morrison's compliance while he delves into the murky underworld for vital information. The chapter culminates in a pivotal revelation as the fabricated statements by a Kaw Indian witness unravel, casting doubt on Rose and Joe's involvement in Anna's murder. White uncovers a sinister plot to manufacture false evidence, shedding light on the intricate web of deceit surrounding the case. As the investigation intensifies, the line between truth and deception blurs, leading to startling discoveries that challenge the very foundation of the ongoing inquiry. Chapter 11. The Third Man. Hoover, the man with a phobia of germs and a special air filtration system in his home, delves into the Osage murders case. He is intrigued by the similarity in the deaths of Anna Brown and Roan, both shot in the back of the head. Mrs. Kenny, a white woman married to an Osage man, captures Hoover's interest as she implicates A.W. Comstock, a guardian for some Osage, in the conspiracy. Despite Kenny's history of mental instability, Hoover sees her as a valuable lead. Meanwhile, White, the field man, investigates Brian Burkhart, Molly's brother-in-law, a suspect in Anna Brown's murder. Brian's alibi seems solid. Witnesses place him in Fairfax at the time of Anna's disappearance. However, a crack appears when Brian is linked to Anna's last known moments with a third man, casting doubt on his alibi. As White's team digs deeper, details emerge of Brian and Anna's night together, involving speakeasies and mysterious encounters. Brian's actions post the disappearance raise suspicions, leaving White with unanswered questions. What drove Brian to kill Anna? Was he involved in the other murders? And who was the enigmatic third man? Join me as we unravel the web of mystery surrounding the Osage murders and the hunt for the elusive third man in this enthralling chapter of The Killers of the Flower Moon. Chapter 12. A Wilderness of Mirrors. As the summer draws to a close, White, the head of the investigation, begins to suspect the presence of a mole within their ranks. During a tense interrogation with a shady local attorney suspected of tampering with the case, the attorney shockingly displays an in-depth knowledge of the inner workings of their investigation, revealing that he had seen and even had access to some of the confidential reports made by the Bureau. Leaks and sabotage have plagued the Bureau's efforts, with reports mysteriously finding their way into the wrong hands and even disappearing from official offices. These security breaches not only put the agents' lives in danger, but also sow seeds of doubt and suspicion among the officials, leading to a toxic atmosphere of distrust. To make matters worse, private detectives attempt to expose the main informant, Kelsey Morrison, and even go as far as detaining him on false charges, causing fear and chaos within the investigation team. White is forced to lead his team clandestinely, often meeting under the cover of darkness in remote locations to avoid detection. His team must be prepared for anything, even violence, as they navigate through a treacherous landscape of deception and betrayal. The line between criminal investigation and espionage becomes increasingly blurred as they navigate through a wilderness of mirrors filled with moles, double agents, and hidden agendas. One private investigator, Pike, emerges as a key suspect, withholding crucial information in exchange for a hefty sum of money. Despite efforts to track him down, Pike evades capture, leaving the agents frustrated and questioning his motives. However, as they unravel Pike's web of lies, shocking revelations come to light, implicating powerful individuals like William Hale in a complex web of deceit and cover-ups. The investigation takes a darker turn as Pike exposes a sinister plot to manufacture evidence and false witnesses to protect Brian, raising uncomfortable questions about Hale's involvement in the murders. With each revelation, the agents are faced with the daunting task of untangling a web of lies and deceit that goes far deeper than they could have ever imagined. Chapter 13: A Hangman's Son. Meet young Tom White, an impressionable boy living in the late 1800s in Travis County, Texas. His father, Emmett White, is the newly elected sheriff, making the family home adjacent to the county jail. Tom is raised amidst the hardened criminals and the strict but fair hand of his father. The jail, with its barred windows and cold stone interior, becomes a macabre playground for Tom and his siblings, who witness firsthand the raw sides of good and evil. As Tom grows up, he struggles to understand the complexities of criminal behavior. Some inmates seem irredeemable, while others show remorse and seek redemption. Through his father's example, Tom learns about the delicate balance between justice and mercy. Emmett White, despite being firm in his duty, shows compassion towards those in his charge regardless of their background. Tom's coming of age involves witnessing his father's risky encounters as a lawman, dealing with outlaws and maintaining order in a turbulent society. His exposure to the harsh realities of crime and punishment gradually shapes his views on justice and the law. Tom gradually questions the morality of capital punishment and the role of law enforcement in society. Join Tom as he embarks on a new chapter in his life by joining the legendary Texas Rangers, a force known for its fearless pursuit of justice. Alongside his brothers and fellow Rangers, Tom navigates the treacherous terrain of frontier justice, tracking criminals and facing danger at every turn. As he delves deeper into the world of law enforcement, Tom grapples with moral dilemmas and the cost of upholding justice in a lawless land. Tom's journey takes a personal toll when tragedy strikes close to home. The loss of his brother Dudley in the line of duty leaves Tom reeling, questioning the price of serving the law. Amidst the turmoil of loss and grief, Tom's resolve is tested, leading him to make life-altering decisions that will shape his destiny. Experience the gripping tale of Tom White, the Hangman's Son, as he navigates the turbulent waters of justice and duty in a land where the line between right and wrong is often blurred. Will Tom's unwavering commitment to truth and justice lead him to redemption, or will the shadows of the past haunt him forever? Join Tom on his quest for justice and self-discovery in a world where the killers of the flower moon lurk in the shadows. Chapter 14: Dying Words. As White and his team of agents delve deeper into the mysteries surrounding the Osage murders, they turn their attention to the dying words of Bill Smith, Molly Burkhart's brother-in-law. Smith, who suspected foul play in Lizzie's death and the larger conspiracy tied to the oil wealth of the Osage, mutters names in his feverish sleep. His nurse recalls how, in his final moments, he met with his doctors and lawyer, possibly revealing crucial information about his assailants. The doctors, James and David Chown, and the lawyer tried to maintain secrecy around their conversations with Bill Smith, raising suspicions. Despite intense questioning from White and federal prosecutors, the truth remains elusive. However, a revelation surfaces that points fingers at none other than William K. Hale, the influential figure known as the King of the Osage Hills, and his nephew Ernest Burkhart as Smith's supposed enemies. Further unraveling the story, it's discovered that the Chowns, who were the family physicians of Hale and the Burkharts, may have had ulterior motives in their clandestine meeting with Smith. James Chown is appointed as the administrator of Smith's murdered wife's estate, a position ripe with financial gain. The investigation uncovers layers of corruption, with whites exploiting the Osage wealth through deceitful practices, including swindling millions from the accounts of Osage wards. The narrative exposes a sinister web of deceit and exploitation, where prominent white citizens, officials, and law enforcers conspire to rob the Osage of their fortune. The Osage, aware of the schemes but powerless to halt them, face unimaginable betrayals and injustices at the hands of those they should trust. The chapter unearths a dark chapter in history where greed and manipulation run rampant, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. In a world where trust is a luxury and corruption lurks at every corner, the Osage fight a battle not just for justice, but for their very existence. As the truth slowly unravels, White and his team are led down a twisted path of greed, deceit, and heart-wrenching tragedies, shedding light on the atrocities inflicted upon the Osage people in the pursuit of wealth and power.